Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to County Court at Law Number 2. My name is Judge Terrence Holmes. I'm the presiding judge here in County Court at Law Number 2. This morning, we have two dockets. We have a motion to revoke probation docket, and we have an announcement docket. When I call your name, please come before the bench with your attorney. If your attorney is not here, your attorney is probably in another court handling a case. And so when your attorney finishes with that case, your attorney will come here, then we will call you up. Now, if you're not represented by an attorney, then when I call your name, you'll come before the bench by yourself. Helen Gilder. Okay, Mr. Gilder, your full name is Kalen Dion Gilder. How you doing, Mr. Gilder? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Gilder, you are represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Peter Dahl. Attorney Dahl, how are you doing?
Pretty fair, Judge.
And the state is represented in this case by Attorney Kyle Gasper. Attorney Gasper, how are you doing?
I'm good, Judge. Thank you for asking.
And Mr. Dahl, what is your announcement in Mr. Gilder's case?
We desire a trial.
Okay, give us a trial date. December the 9th. Okay, this case is reset for December 9th of 2024. Mr. Gilder, your attorney is going to get you reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go. Please stand in front of the court coordinator. And Mr. Dahl, is this your only case?
Or that, no, Judge.
Okay, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, this is cause number 24 CCCR 0874. Case is styled the state of Texas versus John James Laurie. Mr. Laurie, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Laurie, how are you doing?
Good, sir. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine. And Mr. Laurie, you're representing your case by your attorney, Nathan Reynolds. Attorney Reynolds, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Judge, thank you.
And Mr. Reynolds, what is your announcement in Mr. Laurie's case?
Judge, we don't ask that this case be set to the next announcement docket. There's some information that Mr. Laurie is gonna give me that I'd like to provide to the prosecutor. Asking them to reconsider their.
Okay, give us a reset date.
December 11th.
December 11th, 2024. Okay. Case, Mr. Laurie, will be reset to December 11th, 2024. So your attorney can get the additional information. Once your case is reset, you're free to go. You have a blessed day.
Yes, sir.
Please stand in front of our court coordinator. Mr. Reynolds, is this your only case?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, you're free to go as well, and you have a blessed day. Margot Prudom. Mr. Burbank? I am ready. Right here. Yeah, I just have one quick time. Here, put their signature right there. Thank you. This is cause number 24CCCR 1130, case of style of state of Texas versus Margot A. Prudom. Ms. Prudom, is that your full name? Ms. Prudom, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Prudom, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Ms. Prudom, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Prudom? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Ms. Prudom. You're representing your case by your attorney, Tom Burbank. Attorney Burbank, how are you doing? Doing fine. And Mr. Burbank, do you waive a record in Ms. Prudom's case? We do. Ms. Prudom, I have before me on my computer a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Margot A. Prudom, on or about March 9th of 2024, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of fleeing police officer. Ms. Prudom, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes,
And to this charge, Ms. Prudom, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
no contest.
Now, you pleaded no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Ms. Prudhomme, I also have before me a document on my tablet that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. This document is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of the same document, there's a set of initials, MP, on a line next to a box that's checked nolo contendere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document? On the next page of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature? And on the next document that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? At the top of this document, there are two boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that that this is a plea bargaining case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have another document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Now, Ms. Prudhomme, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, Mr. Burbank, go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you understand everything that Mr. Burbank went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes, sir.
to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Ms. Prudhomme, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
State offer states one.
Any objections?
Objection states one.
No objection. States Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Burbank, you've advised and counseled Ms. Prudhomme. Is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Ms. Prudhomme, your attorney, Mr. Burbank, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation? Ms. Prudhomme, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargaining agreement?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea, the state is offering 6 months deferred probation, $250 fine, community service waived, plus court costs.
Mr. Burbank, were you appointed in this case?
I was, Your Honor.
What is the court cost? 330? Okay. Ms. Prudhomme, the state is offering that you serve 6 months deferred adjudicated probation. During the 6-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $250. You will also be required to pay you're required to pay court costs of $330. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, your analysis fee of $15 a month, reimbursement fee of $15. And you'll also be required to reimburse Jefferson County Court appointed attorney's fees of $250. Now, your total monthly installments, that is a total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you're on probation is $259 a month. Are you able to pay the $259 a month?
No, she's not.
Okay, let's see the her affidavit of indigence. Affidavit of indigence. Okay, Ms. Prudhomme, I have a document before me that is titled Affidavit of Indigence. The attorney will show you that document. Ms. Prudhomme, do you recognize that document?
Yes, that's your signature for additional, everything's doing correct. Still is the same.
Okay. Now, Ms. Prudhomme, is everything on this document true and correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Ms. Prudhomme, the court is gonna find that you're indigent.
Absolutely. Very involved in the things are going.
Yes,
Yes.
okay. Ms. Prudhomme, as I mentioned to you earlier, the state is offering that you serve 6 months deferred adjudicated probation. During the 6 month deferred adjudication probationary period, the fine of $250 and the court cost of $330 will be converted to 46 hours community service pursuant to Article 42.15 Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, because the court has found that you're indigent. And also the attorney fees of $250 will be waived pursuant to Article 26.05 G-11 of Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. The reimbursement fee of $15 will be waived pursuant to Article 102.018 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. And your probation fee will reduce to the statutory minimum of $25 a month. So your total monthly installments that you will, let's see, make sure this right. Yeah, your total monthly installments in this case will be $52 a month. Will you be able to pay the $52 each month?
Yes, sir.
Now, Ms. Prudham, you will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this deferred adjudicated probation. Now, Ms. Prudham, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer and the court's finding is fair and just? And do you accept it? Okay, Ms. Prudham, I'll follow, people are in agreement with the court's finding that you've made in this case. Ms. Prudham, if you successfully complete this probationary period, the case will not appear on your record as a conviction. And you may qualify, the case will be dismissed and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. And Ms. Prudham, you're gonna stand, well, just have a seat because she has to make the adjustments on the paperwork that I just informed you about. So just have a seat in the chair by the wall, wait for your name to be called. Once your name is called, you go to the window, follow the directions of the bailiff. Once you're finished following the directions of the bailiff, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. All right, you're welcome. And Mr. Burbank, you may be excused. You have a blessed day.
First year, man.
Do we have anybody else ready?
Your Honor, may I vote?
Yeah, yes.
I just have a gentleman on Zoom. I didn't want to step in front of somebody, but when I heard nobody was ready, it looked like an opportunity. I'm not scared to take it. I'm sure whose case it is. Initial appearance.
Okay, this is cause number 2466 Sierra 1172 case of style the state of Texas versus Jamal Wingate. Mr. Wingate is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Wingate, would you please take your mic off of mute? Mr. Wingate, how are you doing?
Good, doing yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Wingate, you're representing the case by your attorney James Padgett. Attorney Padgett, how are you doing?
Doing well. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. The state is represented in this case, well, in these cases, by Attorney Andrew Hubel. Mr. Hubel, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge, thank you.
And Mr. Padgett, what is your announcement in Mr. Wingate's case?
Your Honor, this is our initial appearance. We have requested discovery last month. We're still waiting to complete discovery. Specifically, the video needs to be reviewed. I will, in the meantime, I'll offer from Mr. Hubel. And hopefully, if you'll give us a new date, we can move forward at that time.
Give us a reset date. Okay, Mr. Wingate, your case will be reset to December 11, 2024. Your attorney and your bondsman will be given notice of your reset date. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
You too, Judge. That's all.
And Mr. Padgett, is this your?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you're free to go as well.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And Judge, you said that's December 11th?
Yes, December 11th at 9 a.m.
Okay, thank you. You have a blessed day.
All right, same to you. You have a blessed day as well. Ramon Watkins? Yeah, he's here.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Okay, how you doing? Okay. Okay, this is cause number 24 CCCR 1432, case of style of state of Texas versus Draymond Keith Watkins. Mr. Watkins, is that your full name? Or Damon Keith Watkins? How you doing, Mr. Watkins? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Watkins, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Joel Vasquez. Attorney Vasquez, how are you doing?
Good, Your Honor, but just,
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Vasquez, what is your announcement in Mr. Watkins' case?
Judge, could we request another announcement? Mr. Watkins needs to view the video in this case.
Okay. Okay, this case will be reset to December 11, 2024. Mr. Watkins, your attorney is gonna get your reset case. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Vasquez, is this your only case?
Yes, sir.
You're free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Brandon Darcy?
Your Honor, I apologize for the messiness of my handwriting on the tablet. I was really struggling
Oh,
with that.
so you, oh, this is a plea?
It is plea.
Okay, so we don't have that ready yet. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and what about Trooper?
We have plea on that too.
Okay, so we'll, once we get those ready, we're gonna call you back up. All right, you can have a seat. Which one is ready? Prudent, we just did Prudent. Oh. It's not here. Alexis Blue? Miss Blue, would you come forward, Miss Delage?
Judge, we're not quite ready. I haven't had a chance to talk with my client just yet this morning. I've been in.
Oh, you need to talk to, okay, I'll hold
4
on.
minutes if you don't mind.
Okay. Roderick Tillman?
Your Honor.
Hold on, wait for prosecutor. Ms. Casper, are you available? Okay,
Sorry, Judge.
court is in, oh, that's all right. Court is in session in two cases. 23 CCCR 2310 and clause number 23 CCCR 2311. Both cases are South State of Texas versus Roderick Lanier Tillman Jr. Mr. Tillman, is that your full name?
Yes.
How you doing, Mr. Tillman? You're doing good? That's good. Now, Mr. Tillman, you're represented in your cases by your attorney, Attorney John Macy. Attorney Macy, how are you doing?
I'm fine, Your Honor.
And Mr. Macy, what is your announcements in Mr. Tillman's cases?
Your Honor, I'd ask for a reset, a short reset. I apparently don't have the videos. I request, there's two cases, I was told. I requested the video on one and didn't request it on the other. I just requested it on my laptop a minute ago. So if you can give me a short reset to get that so I can review it with Mr. Tillman.
Okay, give us a reset date. Okay, this case will be reset to December 4th, 2024. And Mr. Tillman, your attorney is gonna give you resets. Once you get your resets from your attorney, you're free to go. And you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Thank you, Judge.
all right. Edward Wallace.
I'm always Judge.
Oh, okay, take your time.
I'm here. I just had a hard time getting out of my chair.
Okay. This is cause number M317554. Case of style of state of Texas versus Edward William Wallace. Mr. Wallace, is that your full name? How you doing, Mr. Wallace? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking, Mr. Wallace. You're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney David Grove. Attorney Grove, how are you doing?
Real good, Judge. Thank you.
That's good. And state probation officer is represented by Mr. Gary Gilliam. Mr. Gilliam, how are you doing?
I don't think so.
Okay. Now, Mr. Gilliam and Ms. Gasper, what is the state's position on this motion to revoke?
Your Honor, I've spoken to the probation office and the basis for this MTRP has been resolved, so we are going to dismiss this
Okay.
MTRP.
To be this, okay.
I just haven't gotten to the paperwork yet.
No objection, Judge.
Okay. All right.
Everybody's happy.
All right, so we will get that dismissal in a few minutes. Y'all can just have a seat.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll let you know when we have it.
I have it pulled up right now, so it should
You,
be
okay,
a few minutes.
well, Mr. Wallace, he can come back up. She said she had.
All right, I just sent it, Judge.
You did? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Wallace, I just signed the dismissal. And you'll be able to get a copy of the dismissal. I'm looking at the case. Apparently your probation ends on November 27th, 2024. He had a couple extensions.
Yes, sir. It ends next month.
Right, November 27th, 2024. All right. So once you get your reset, you're free to go. And well, not your reset, but once you get your dismissal, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Stay in contact with Mr. Gillett. And Mr. Grove, is this your only case?
This is not only case.
All right, you're free to go as well. You have a blessed day. Jose Teak.
Does not speak English or between.
He doesn't? Okay.
All right, we're ready, Your Honor.
Okay. This is cause number 24 CCCR 0988. Case is style the state of Texas versus Jose C. Teak. Mr. Teak does not speak English. If he does, he speaks a little. And Mr. Teak is represented by attorney Charles Rojas, who is fluent in English and Spanish. And Mr. Rojas, would you please raise your right hand, Mr. Rojas? Do you swear to interpret Spanish to English and English to Spanish to help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
You may put your hand down. Ask Mr. Teak if his full name is Jose C. Teak.
José del Carmen, sí, José, sí, José, Tique.
Jose C. Tique.
TK? Okay, Mr. TK. Ask Mr. TK to raise his right hand. Mr. TK, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. You may put your hand down. How you doing, Mr. TK?
Yeah,
Good.
Good? That's good. Now, Mr. TK, you're represented in your case by your attorney Charles Rojas. Attorney Rojas, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge. Thank you.
And Mr. Rojas, do you waive a record in Mr. TK's case?
We do, Your Honor.
Mr. TK, I have before me on my computer a document that is titled information. This information alleges that you, Jose C. TK, on or about May 28th of 2023, while you are operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. Mr. TK, do you understand what you have been charged with?
sí,
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. TK, to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
porque estoy consciente de lo que hice, lo hicimos con diferencia.
I don't care because I'm aware of what I did. I was under the influence.
Okay, now, and Mr. TK, are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Mr. TK, I also have another document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment. This document is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Okay. On page 2 of this same, well, at the bottom of this document, there's a set of initials.
And Judge, Mr. Deacon informed that his initials and his signature are the same, so you'll see his signature and initial look alike, he said they're the same.
Okay. Now, Mr. TK, at the bottom of this document, there are some initials. And did you place your initials and signature on this document?
Yes, that's how I find my ID.
Okay, and it is below a paragraph that is titled citizenship. Are you a U.S. citizen?
No.
What country are you from? Mexico, okay. Now, this paragraph states that if you're not a U.S. citizen, a plea of guilty or nola contendere may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, do you still want to go forward with your plea bargain agreement? Yeah, okay. On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials or your signature on a line next to a box that says check guilty. Did you place your signature and your initials on this document?
Yes.
On page 3 of this same document, there are your signatures and your initials. Did you place your signature and your initials on this document?
Yes.
On the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, that's my signature.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, that's good.
I also have a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes.
And I have another document that is titled English Statement 1 for all foreign nationals, except those from mandatory notification countries. There is one word that's circled. The word that's circled is no, and it is below a question that reads, do you want us to notify your consular officers at this time? And it's circled no. Did you circle this?
No. Yes.
You circle, okay.
Yes.
And is this your signature on this document?
Yes.
Now, before you sign and initialed all of these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you in Spanish?
Yes.
And did you understand everything that your attorney went over?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
And state, you like to offer State's Exhibit Number 1?
Yes, Your Honor, state offers states 1.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objections. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Rojas, you advised in counsel, Mr. TK, is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
Oh, yeah.
And you also, you advised in counsel, but did you also advise him to the consequences of him pleading guilty by him not being a citizen of the United States pursuant to the case of Padilla versus Kentucky?
I did, Your Honor.
Okay. And Mr. TK, your attorney, Mr. Rojas, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his services?
Yeah.
Mr. TK, I will accept your plea of no contest.
Guilty. Your Honor.
I mean, guilty. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea, the state is offering 90 days in the Jefferson County Jail probated over 1 year, $500 fine, 60 hours of community service, DWI first standard conditions plus interlock and court costs.
Mr. Rojas, were you appointed in this case?
I was, Your Honor.
What is this court cost? Mr. TK. The state is offering that you serve 90 days in Jefferson County Jail, but you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you'll be placed on probation for a period of 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $377. You will also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, a urinalysis fee of $15 a month, a reimbursement fee of $15. You will also be required to pay a DWI conviction fine of $100, and you'll be required to reimburse Jefferson County, the court-appointed attorney's fees of $250. You'll also be required to pay the DWI an initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you will be required to pay an additional $50. Your total monthly installment, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you are on probation, is $195 a month. Will you be able to pay the $195 each month?
Pues dependiendo del trabajo, porque ya vienen las vacaciones de Navidad
Depends on how much work I have because the holiday season's coming and work slows down.
y nos dan vacaciones, no trabajamos.
I mean, does he have a,
Pero sí, trataré.
But yeah, I'll try.
well, no, we just need to know if he can't pay it. Let me see, here's an affidavit. Okay. Mr. PK, the state is offering that you serve 1 year that you serve 90 days in Jefferson County Jail probated for a period of 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, the fine of $500 plus court costs of $377 will be converted to 70 hours of community service. The reimbursement fee of $15 will be waived pursuant to Article 102.018 of Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. The attorney's fees of $250 will be waived pursuant to Article 26.05 G-11 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. The court will reduce your probation fee to the statutory minimum of $25 a month.
Gracias.
And you will be required to pay the DWI conviction fine of $100. You will be required to pay the urinalysis fee of $15 a month. And your total monthly installments that you'll be required to pay in this case is $53 a month. Will you be able to pay the $53 each month?
Sí.
Yes.
And, okay, now the court is making these findings because the court has found that you're indigent. And, now, Mr. TK, do you understand the state's offer and the court's findings?
¿Me toca?
Lo siento.
No puedo ver la information de la information.
Sí.
Yes,
Sí, sí,
Okay.
sí. Ah, sí, entiendo, sí.
yes.
Okay, now you'll also be required to perform 60 hours of community service. That's in addition to the 70, so that'll be a total of 130 hours of community service. You'll be required to install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. You'll be required to attend and complete a DWI education class. You're required to have an alcohol assessment. And you're required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of DWI probation. Now, you'll also be required to pay the DWI education and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the police, should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Do you understand? Now, do you understand the state's offer and the court's finding?
Sí,
Yes,
Do you think that is fair and just?
sí,
yes, it is.
And do you accept it?
sí.
Okay, I'll follow the people who are in agreement with the court's finding. In this case, Mr. TK, have a seat, wait for your name to be called because they have to redo your paperwork. Dennis Gregory? I'll send that back to you. I'm gonna just send it back to me.
Your Honor, this is
Yeah.
Dennis Gregory.
Okay. I sent one back. You sent it back to me? You'd send it 31 back to me. Jefferson County Court at law number 2 is in session in 2 cases. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Dennis Brian Gregory. The cases are cause numbers 24-CCCR 1430 and cause number 24-CCCR 1431. Mr. Gregory, is your full name Dennis Brian Gregory?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gregory, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Gregory, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gregory, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Gregory? You doing good? That's good. I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Gregory, you represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Willard Hall. Attorney Hall, how are you doing?
Doing great, Your Honor. Thank you.
And Mr. Hall, do you waive the record in Mr. Gregory's cases?
Yes,
Mr. Gregory, I have before me on my computer a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, Mr. Gregory, it alleges that you, Dennis Brian Gregory, on or about March 9th of 2024, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed to class. Oh, the information up at the top says Class B, that's just, but this is a Class A misdemeanor.
That's
Be- Okay, because this is a 0.15 or more. Now, Mr. Gregory, the information charges you with a Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. You know what? How did it come out when you did it? Did it come out as a 0.15? Because they have written on the information, they have driving while intoxicated. They don't have driving while intoxicated with a 0.015 or more. And then for class, they have Class B misdemeanor. So I need to see, she has to see how it's gonna come out on the paperwork. Because it's,
And if it comes out as a.
hold on, let me see, what's on the docket sheet? On the docket sheet, it's a Class B as well.
you want to do it as a Class B?
I have no issue with that.
Yeah, but we're gonna have to do,
You can
Get it covered
abandon
differently.
this, the enhancement.
Well, there's no enhancement to abandon the.
there's an enhancement in the information. It's enhanced in the information.
Okay,
But
So-
written on the in the caption, it has driving while intoxicated and it has Class B misdemeanor. So we would have to, they would have to change it, then she would have to reduce it to a Class B. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, hold on a minute. You need to look at it. This is cause number 23 CCCR 2534, case of style of state of Texas versus Brandon Gardner. Mr. Gardner, is that your full name? Okay, Mr. Gardner, how are you doing? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Gardner, your case was reset to give you an opportunity to hire an attorney, is that correct? And have you hired your attorney?
I'm scheduled, it's coming. I had to take off today coming in.
Right,
I need time because I get up at 2:30 in the morning to catch a bus for work.
okay,
I work over at the Golden Pass project and.
Okay.
So I'm asking, can I get a little more time?
okay, we're gonna give him another reset to hire his attorney. Just hold on a minute. We're gonna get your reset date. Just stand in front of the court coordinator on the end. She's gonna give you a reset date. Gonna reset his case to hire. Nicodia Bill Davis Jr. Okay. TK,
She's changing.
Good morning.
okay,
Who?
okay, this, Mr. Davis, how are you doing?
No, all right.
That's good. Hold on a minute, Mr. Davis. Oops. Okay, now, Mr. Davis, your case was reset to give you opportunity to hire an attorney. Have you hired your attorney?
No, sir, not at all. I was going to Wright County, but I got cases in different counties, so I was trying to get them all on one court.
Get them all in one court.
Like one, if it's one attorney on like my case in Horn County and my case in Galveston.
Okay, well,
Yeah, but I had talked to Wright, he didn't want to go to the Galveston, but I talked to Tim McDuffie, he said he can probably do all of them.
he said he can probably
But he
do all.
said he can do these, like Galveston,
Okay,
yeah, but
well, you need a lawyer. Let me do this here. This is, you've been trying to get a lawyer on this case. Let me see,
I don't want
since
to court.
April, huh?
I don't want to court on that.
I understand that, but I mean, we're not gonna keep on, we're not gonna give you forever to get a lawyer,
Yes, yes.
okay? We're gonna give you a 30-day reset, your final reset. If not, you're gonna be representing yourself,
All right.
okay? So, just give him his final 30, make a note on that. He's not gonna get any more time. Once the thing comes down, then they're gonna write what they need to write in. Yeah, they finished it. Okay, this is gonna be his final reset on Davis, Nicodia Davis. Put him on a, and Dakota, put him on a pre-trial conference docket too. Okay,
This is standard procedure.
no more than 30 days.
It's like moral reconciliation down to. You're kidding something.
Kendrick Booker, it's not changing. This is Booker. Ms. Booker, your full name is Kendrick Booker.
Yes.
How are you doing, Mr. Booker? Okay, Mr. Booker, I see you came last month or the month before last. And your case was reset to hire an attorney. Have you hired your attorney?
Yes.
Who have you hired?
Rice Council, remember the paperwork wasn't submitted.
Oh, did we get a, hold on, let's see if he, and he's, yeah. Let me see if he sent a letter of representation in on this here. You still haven't sent the letter of representation. He's supposed to be here today, right? I think he's on the docket. So just have a seat. He should be coming over here from another court. If anybody else ready? I need to sign TK.
One of Mr. Bagley's skills is ready.
Oh, faculty, okay. Send Gregory back to me.
Gregory?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Andrew probably is,
You just sent it where?
I sent it to Andrew. Changes on the plea.
This is a 0.5 that's gonna be reduced to you get it on wage enhancement. This is 0.5 gonna be reduced to you can send it to me, we can look at it. She sent Gregory back to you, Andrew?
I have it.
I have already sent it.
Oh. I know, but it was, the paperwork was wrong. That's, yeah, they. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Mr. Gregory, I previously swore you in. Okay. Mr. Gregory, and Mr. Hall, you waived the record in Mr. Gregory's case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Gregory, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information is filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Dennis Brian Gregory, on or about March 9th of 2024, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration of 0.15 or more. The state is abandoning the enhancement paragraph. So therefore, you'll be charged with a Class B misdemeanor offense of DWI, which is a lesser included offense. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, to the lesser included offense of driving while intoxicated, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Mr. Gregory, I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment, is also labeled State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, there's a set of initials on the line next to a box that's checked guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document that's titled trial court certification, well, on the same document, there's a signature on page 3 above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case, and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
I also have before me a document that is titled discovery certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gregory, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, Mr. Hall, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything that Mr. Hall went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gregory, are you a citizen of the United States?
Stay for States 1.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objection. States Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Hall, you've advised and counseled Mr. Gregory. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Gregory, your attorney, Mr. Hall, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Mr. Hall, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
The agreement is to 90 days probated over 1 year with a $750 fine, 60 hours community service, the installation maintained an interlock device, and DWI standard conditions of probation. The connected case will be dismissed for forfeiture.
What is the court cost? This is on Gregory. 392. Whoever's phone is on, you gotta turn it off. Okay, Mr. Gregory. The state is offering that you serve 90 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you'll be placed on probation for 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $750 plus court costs of $392. You'll be required to pay a $60 a month probation fee, $15 a month reimbursement fee. Urinalysis fee. And you'll be required to pay a reimbursement fee of $15. You'll also be required to pay the DWI conviction fine of $100. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you're on probation, is $196 a month. Will you be able to pay the $196 each month?
Yes, sir.
You'll also be required to perform 60 hours of community service, install an interlock device for any vehicle that you own or operate, attend a completed DWI education class, have an alcohol assessment, and adhere to the other standard terms and condition of DWI probation. You'll also be required to pay the DWI initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the fleet. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Now, Mr. Gregory, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer? Okay, Mr. Gregory, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Gregory, this will conclude your case. Oh. Okay, the state is also dismissing cause number 24 CCCR 1431 for forfeiture of a weapon. I have before me a document to forfeit the weapon in that case. You recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line as titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, before you signed this document, did your attorney go over this document with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand everything that your attorney went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gregory, I'm going to sign this forfeiture and state we have this motion, this case 24 CCCR 1431 will be dismissed. Is that correct?
That's correct. Thank you.
Okay, and I'll be signing the dismissal. So you can stand in front of the court coordinator, follow the directions of the bailiff. You're gonna get a copy of the judgment in the DWI case and the dismissal in the other case. All right, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes,
Okay,
here you go.
on the copy. They're both in jail, both of their felonies was reset. And yet, both of their felonies are misdemeanors are the same.
Okay, so they're gonna be reset.
Transfer. Well, we could reset them so they could take them back.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm signing the dismissal. I'm signing it and I'm trying to get to it.
Okay.
I just sent it. Who, Gregory Lewis? I have a dismissal on that.
That's correct, Your Honor, for forfeiture.
Who is his lawyer? Does he have a lawyer?
Not certain that he has.
Who is him?
Nice to meet you.
Was he? Oh, let me.
This is the deal worked out.
Okay, so they worked the deal on a felony case? Says last,
He doesn't have.
what page is he on? Is there, pro se deal in the case? May have to get him his paperwork. Let me see, Lewis,
Okay.
Gregory Wayne Lewis. Explanation. Okay, now he needs to sign the waiver. He needs to sign the waiver. The paperwork that we have on the clipboard, could you get it, Barb? We have any clipboards out there? He needs to sign the judge's explanation and the waiver. That document that you're gonna be signing basically states that, you know you have a right to have an attorney, however, you waiving your right to have an attorney. Waiving means you're giving up your right to have an attorney, you design to represent yourself. Okay. Now, he can have a seat in that chair right there, you can give him that pen. We have a waiver on that as well?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, he's gonna, on the bottom of that judge's explanation, if you waive it, first of all, you have a right to have an attorney. And you also have a right, not only have an attorney, but you have three options. You can hire an attorney. If you don't have enough money to hire an attorney, you can request that an attorney be appointed to represent you. Number three, you can waive your right to have an attorney. No, that's a different case.
I know he dismissed.
That's not, no, but in order for us to do it, we have to have the paperwork saying that you are representing yourself.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I'm explaining to you. And so, there are dangers and disadvantages of self-representation. Waiving your right to an attorney may result in the worst outcome for you in your case, including the loss of significant rights and opportunities relating to military service, possession of firearms, housing and public benefits, child custody, immigration status for non-citizens and employment. Now, if you choose to waive your right to have an attorney, you may change your mind at any time and request that an attorney be appointed to represent you. Now, on that document, at the bottom of that document, if you waive your right to have an attorney, there are 5 lines at the bottom to the left. You see that? You're gonna place your initials on the bottom, on the last line, the 5th line, that states that you're waiving your right to have an attorney, you're representing yourself. Then you will sign on the line that is titled defendant. You sign your name, it's right below, right there. You sign on your line that's titled defendant, and then next to that line, you're gonna write today's date, which is October 30th of 2024. And on the next document, which is the waiver, you're gonna read and sign that document. And then once you finish signing that document, we're gonna ask you to come back up. Once you finish reading and signing. Okay. Who's Brandon? Brandon Darcy. Brandon Darcy? Okay. Yes.
We are on Mr. Dorsey's case.
Okay.
It's in the paperwork, but I'm requesting a waiver of the potential administrative fines under 709.001 of the Texas Transportation Code on his behalf, as he is still currently indigent.
Okay, hold on a minute.
We're also, it's a 30-day jail sentence with the applicable credit for time served. We ask he be allowed to surrender on or before Friday.
You said credit for time, sir?
And
Oh, he's
the
getting credit for
that
time that he has already
Sir,
served.
that's correct.
Okay.
It's 30 days, and then he's getting credit for 10 days that he's already
Okay.
served.
Okay,
And he
Yes.
would like to surrender on or before 6 on Friday.
that's October 1st,
Yes, Your Honor.
November 1st.
November. 1st.
November, yeah, November 1st. I was looking at this here.
I know.
It looked, they had a 010. Let me, okay. This is cause number 24 CCCR 0780, case is filed in the state of Texas versus Brandon Lamont Darcy. Mr. Darcy, is that your full name? Mr. Darcy, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Darcy, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God? Mr. Darcy, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Darcy? You doing okay? That's good. Mr. Darcy, you're representing your case by your attorney, Attorney Mark Faggett. Attorney Faggett, how are you doing?
I'm good, Your Honor. Thank you for asking.
Okay. Mr. Faggett, do you waive a record in Mr. Darcy's case?
We do.
Mr. Darcy, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information is filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Brandon Lamont Darcy, on or about November 28th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. Mr. Dorsey, do you understand what you have been charged with? And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest. Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Mr. Dorsey, I also have before me on my tablet a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
On page 2 of this same document, there's a set of initials, BD, on the line next to the box that said guilty. Did you place your initials here? And on the next page, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature? And on the next document that's titled trial court certification of the defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargaining case and you have no right of appeal. You understand that statement? Second box is checked states that you're waiving your right to appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. You understand that statement? I also have a document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Mr. Dorsey, before you signed and initialed these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, Mr. Fagger, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand everything that Mr. Fagger went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Dorsey, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State,
Sale for states one.
any objections?
None.
No objections. States Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Fagger, you advised in counsel, Mr. Dorsey. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Dorsey, your attorney, Mr. Faggot, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Dorsey, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargaining agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
The agreement is the 30 days jail with credit for 10 days, Your Honor.
What is this court cost? Mr. Dorsey. The state is offering that you serve 30 days in Jefferson County Jail. You'll be given credit for the 10 days that you've already served. The court cost in this case is $377. Would you be able to pay the $377 court cost?
You're still indigent, aren't you? You're not working, are you?
Okay, so you're not able to pay it. May I see his F? Oh, you did? I have, hold on, wait up. Yeah, right here. Mr. Dorsey, I have before me a document that is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Indigence. I'm handing this document to your attorney. He's gonna hand it to you. Mr. Dorsey, do you recognize that document? On page 2 of that same document, the top left-hand corner, there is a signature above the line that is titled Defendant Signature. Is that your signature? Now, Mr. Dorsey, you can turn back to the first page. Mr. Dorsey, is everything on that document still true and correct today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Dorsey, the court is going to find that you're indigent. Based on the finding of indigence, the court cost of $377 in this case will be waived pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. Mr. Dorsey, the state is, I'll say you're requesting that Mr. Dorsey serve his time, the remaining 20 days in the Jefferson County Jail to start on November 1st, 2024, at or before 6 p.m. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your
All
Honor.
right. Now, Mr. Dorsey, do you understand the state's offer? Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Mr. Dorsey, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Dorsey, your jail time will begin on November 1st of 2024 at or before 6 p.m. Now, you will have to bring the paperwork with you when you report to the jail.
Your Honor, also, I would like the judgment to reflect that he has been determined to be indigent and we ask the court once again to waive the administrative fines that could be sent to him by the state of Texas. And we ask that you court enter an order waiving all of those potential administrative fines.
Well, we would have to, you're gonna have to redo the, make that part of the judgment because he is found to be indigent.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so there will be a finding of indigence in the judgment.
Yes.
Okay, and so what you're saying is you're waiving administrative fine. What was that article?
I think it's Article 709.001 of
What,
Texas. 09.001 of the Texas Transportation Code.
Texas.
So what we have right now, the 42,100, we need to add something else.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay, y'all wanna put that in the paperwork? Cause I'm not the original policy.
Yeah, we've done it on past occasions.
yeah, no, but you're gonna have to,
Yeah.
you have to write it on here. Okay.
Clearly.
Yeah, just have, and that will be noted. They're gonna write it on there.
Can you give me that section again?
It's Texas Transportation Code, section 709.001. And I'll pull it up exactly for you.
Okay. And so that would be nice. So y'all can just have a seat
Okay.
and wait for his name to be called. She's gonna call your name and then you're gonna go to the window and you're gonna do your paperwork. You're gonna follow the directions of the bailiff. Once you finish following the directions of the bailiff, you're free to go and have a blessed day. Okay, Louis. Who got, oh, that's right. He has my tablet. No, he can come on out. I don't have my, yeah, I gave him my tablet. All right, thanks. Okay, we're back in session and cause number 23 CCCR 0492.
It's on the top right, Your Honor. Would that be sufficient?
Yeah, that's fine. Now, the case is styled in the state of Texas versus Gregory Wayne Lewis. Mr. Lewis, is that your full name? Mr. Lewis, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Lewis, do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis, you may put your hand down. And Mr. Lewis, I have before me two documents. The first document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. You recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line as titled Defendant? And are these your initials on the line that state you'd like to waive your right to an attorney? I also have another document that is titled Waiver of Counsel for Purposes of Enter Guilty Plea or Proceeding to Trial. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line as titled Defendant? Now, Mr. Lewis, before you sign and initial these documents, did you read the documents? Did you understand what you read? Is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes.
to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. Now, state, in this case, I have a motion to dismiss. And I also have a motion for forfeiture of weapon in this case. Mr. Lewis, do you recognize this document, motion to forfeit? And is this your signature on the line as titled Defendant? Now, Mr. Lewis, before you sign this document, did you read the document? Did you understand what you read? And is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis, you want the court to grant this motion to forfeit the weapon to the Beaumont Police Department?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Lewis, the court is signing the motion to forfeit the weapon to the Beaumont Police Department. And as part of the plea bargain agreement in this case, the state is dismissing cause number 23 CCCR 0492. And I'm signing the dismissal. You'll be able to get a copy of this dismissal in about 1 minute. You can stand before the coordinator. She's gonna give you a copy of the dismissal. Once you get a copy of the dismissal, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day. All right. Jace Trooper,
Ready, Your Honor, may I approach?
yes.
Yes, it's moral recognition therapy.
Yeah. No, moral recognition therapy is not part of the bond condition. That's probation, conditions of probation.
That's what I meant to say, conditions of probation. Recognition, okay.
Moral recognition. Okay, court is in session and cause number 24 CCCR 0814. Case is style the state of Texas versus Jace Trooper. Mr. Trooper, is that your full name? Mr. Trooper, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Trooper, do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Trooper, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Trooper?
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking, Mr. Trooper. You're represented in your case by your attorney, Mark Faggett. Attorney Faggett, how are you doing?
I'm good, Your Honor. Thank you for asking.
And Mr. Faggett, do you waive a record in Mr. Trooper's case?
We do.
Mr. Trooper, I have before me on my computer a document that is titled information. This information is filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Jace Trooper, on or about February 11th, 2024, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of assault. Mr. Trooper, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest. Now, you pleaded no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Mr. Trooper, I also have before me a document on my tablet that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of this same document, there's a set of initials JT on the line next to boxes checked no contendere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature? And on the next document that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box is checked, states that this is a plea bargain case, and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? Second box is checked, states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Mr. Trooper, before you sign and initial these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Trooper, are you a citizen of the United States?
Stay up for 6 months.
Any objections, Mr. Faggett?
No.
No objections. State's exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Faggett, you've advised and counseled. Mr. Trooper, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, he's been quite a polite young gentleman.
And Mr. Trooper, your attorney, Mr. Faggett, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation? Okay, Mr. Trooper, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
The agreement is to 1 year deferred probation with a $300 fine, 50 hours community service. The requirement that the defendant take part in moral recognition therapy and no contact with the complaining witness, Katie Barge.
Okay. Mr. Faggett, were you appointed in this case?
I was, Your Honor.
What is this, court cost? Yes.
Yes. 709.001.
Okay, Mr. Trooper, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation during the deferred adjudication probationary period. You'll be required to pay a fine of $300 plus court costs of $277. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, a year license fee, $15 a month. Reimbursement fee of $15. You'll also be required to reimburse Jefferson County court-appointed attorney's fees of $250. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month, is $158 a month. Will you be able to pay the $158 a month? You will. Okay, you will also be required to perform 50 hours of community service, attend and complete a moral recognition therapy, and have no contact with Kate and boards, and you will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Mr. Trooper, do you understand the state's offer? Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Mr. Trooper, I'll follow the people are in agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Trooper, this will conclude your case. Okay, you'll have a seat for them to do the paperwork. Now, Mr. Trooper, before you leave, I see that you're here. You're not here by yourself, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And who are you here with? Your mother?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, thanks for coming down with your son. Now, Mr. Trooper, I know by you being a young man, young folks have a tendency to say, they put a lot of stock in their friends. They say, I have my friend, they're my ride or die.
Yes, sir.
They'll stick with me through thick and thin. But on days like today, I don't see those people that you call your ride or die, or the folks that's gonna stick with you through thick and thin, right? Actually, you do have a friend. That friend that you have is the person that you call mom. You might call her mother. And the reason why, now she's put a roof over your head, clothes on your back, food on the table for you. And I'm sure at sometimes she probably put a little spanking on your butt. But I know you, like other children, like most children, like myself as well, we didn't listen to everything that our parents said. But I can assure you that everybody's not your friend, everybody's not your partner. But when that lady says she got you, she got you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're blessed to have a mother like that, because there are many people who don't have mothers like you have, and you ought to thank God for the mother that you have.
Yes, sir.
Now, I know that today you might think that, my life is ruined, I can't accomplish my dreams. But I want to assure you this here, that today might be a storm, but when you're walking through a storm, hold your head high and don't be afraid of the dark.
Yes,
At the end of the storm, there's a golden sky and a sweet silver song of law. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone, okay? This, you might look at it as a stumbling block. Some people might look at it as a stumbling block, but you ought to look at it as a stepping stone, because this will not prevent you from reaching the goals that you have set. You can put this behind you and do whatever you want to do in life. And as I should mention that you're getting deferred adjudication probation. And that simply means that this will not be a conviction on your record. And if you successfully complete this case will be dismissed, will not result in a conviction on your record. And you can get a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure, but it's because he's quite competent in those matters, okay? Now you just have a seat and you have a blessed day.
You too.
All
Your
right.
Honor, I have one case in Judge Wood's court I need to attend to, then I have an 11:30 appointment in my office. So I may be excused, or I need to.
Yes, you're excused.
Thank you.
Okay. Did we ever finish with Mr. Lodge? A dismissal on who?
We're ready.
Who, let's see, is that dismissal, did that person just have this case only? Right, I think that person had two cases.
So don't worry about the else.
I have a seminar at 5, I mean at 2, at 12. At 12. Okay, we got Alexis Blue. We're not ready yet. No. Mr. Wilkerson, you ready on, you have Brandon Lumpkin? Oh, it's a plea? Okay, well, hold on a minute. I didn't know it was plea. Who is that? Cheney. So he has two of them.
Do have one that apparently
Okay, all of them, okay.
may not be at this one.
Who is that?
Jared Mayo.
Mayo. I don't have a Mayo. Oh, Mayo?
Yes.
It was here. Jared Mayo? It's Jared Devereaux Mayo? We can call it. Okay. Jared Devereaux Mayo was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. At about 9 a.m. The court's barely called the name of Jared Mayo at the courthouse door. He did answer. However, he's not in court. The time now is 11:15 a.m. on today's date, October 30th, 2024. Mr. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Jared Mayo at the courthouse door? Jared Mayo? Jared Mayo? Jared Mayo? Jared Mayo? Oh.
Apparently is.
He's here, Your Honor. Okay. You want him up here? Yeah, you need to talk to him?
So Judge, he had previously indicated that he wanted to go to trial.
Okay.
With regard to the state's offer. I haven't spoken to him since. The last time was a bond forfeiture, but,
I'm sure now.
that's what you want to do, still go to trial?
No, sir.
Okay, then yes, sir.
Okay.
I do need.
Okay. Mr. Boudreaux? Yes, sir. Oh, his client is not here. Antonio Babineau?
So we scheduled for a
Contested hearing.
Oh, well, what time?
Jim.
And
That's it.
he is not. been here.
He's not even, he's here?
That's yellow.
No, he's not. been here.
We have this officer.
Could you call the name of, Antonio Babineau at the courthouse door? This is cause number 2326206. Case is styled State of Texas versus Antonio Babineau.
I picked up some additional phone numbers and I called on all of them, Judge, and
Okay.
nobody's answering.
Huh?
No answer, Your Honor.
Okay, Antonio Babineau was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. for a motion to revoke probation docket. At or about 9 a.m., Antonio Babineau's name was called. He did not answer. His name was just recently called. Again, the time now is 11:17 on today's date, October 30th. Antonio Babineau has not appeared in court. State, do you have a motion?
State moves for bond forfeiture.
State, the court is gonna grant that motion. Antonio Babineau's bond will be forfeited and warrant shall be issued for his arrest in cause number M326206. And Mr. Boudreaux, I think this is your only case. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Okay. Judge, may I ask one question? when and if they, ever get around to arrest him, will I still be on?
Yeah, you still his attorney, that doesn't change nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You'll let me know if,
Yes,
thank you.
yes, she may be excused.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for coming, Ms. Jones. Okay, I see we have Giles Cole. Is Kyrie Williams here? Kyrie Jacquard Williams? Kyrie Jacquard Williams is scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 AM, at about 9 AM. Kyrie Williams' name was called. Kyrie Williams did not answer. He has not appeared in court since the court has been in session. The time now is 11:18 AM on today's date of October 30th, 2024. Mr. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Kyrie Williams at the courthouse door? Kyrie Williams?
Well, hey, for one of you, since I didn't have any.
Okay, Mr. Williams, please come forward. Okay, Mr. Williams, your full name is Kyrie Williams. Mr. Williams, you're represented by your attorney, Giles Cole, who is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Cole, how are you doing?
I'm great, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Cole, what is your announcement in Mr. Williams' case?
I'm asking for a short reset, Judge, to get with Mr. Williams, to go over things with him. I haven't had opportunity to visit with him.
Okay, give us a reset date. Okay, this case will be reset. I'm gonna put this on the pretrial. We have a pretrial conference acting on that day. So we show that. Oh, second. Okay, this case will be reset to December 2nd of 2024. Mr. Cole, your reset will be sent to you. You're free to go. And you have a blessed day. And Mr. Williams, you're gonna get your reset here in court. Stay in contact with your attorney, your bondsman, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge. Have a great weekend.
Okay, same to you. So we got a bunch of bond forfeits here. Jenny Barlow.
I think that was my first.
Okay, this is cause number M321598, case is styled the state of Texas versus Jenny Barlow. Jenny Barlow was scheduled to be in court. Jenny Barlow has not appeared. Jenny Barlow's name was called at 9 AM by the court's bailiff at the courthouse door. Jenny Barlow did not answer. The time now is 11:21 AM on today's date, October 30th of 2024. Mr. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Jenny Barlow at the courthouse door? Jenny Barlow? Jenny Barlow? Jenny Barlow? No answer, Your Honor. Okay, Jenny Barlow's name was just called again at the courthouse door. Jenny Barlow did not answer. A reasonable time has been given for Ms. Barlow to appear in court. She has not appeared in court. State, do you have a motion?
It moves for bond forfeiture.
That motion will be granted. Jenny Barlow's bond will be forfeited and warrant should be issued for her arrest and cause number M321598. Next case is cause number 24CCCR 0598. Case is style Caleb Moore. Is Caleb Moore here? Caleb Moore is scheduled to be in court at 9 AM at about 9 AM. Is Mr. Moore? Okay, well, okay, just have, where is your attorney out there?
I don't think so.
Okay, just have a seat then. I didn't have him as being here. Carl Solomon. I saw Mr. LeBlanc earlier.
Oh, he didn't answer.
I know, but I'm Mr. LeBlanc.
Your Honor,
Catherine,
on, Solomon, there's a note that he's in LaSalle. I don't know if he's still there.
Solomon.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not
You
sure
say
how
he
to,
was housed in LaSalle unit?
yeah,
Okay,
so I'm not sure if that's where he is. He might be in federal custody.
okay.
Okay.
That's, Carl Solomon on bottom of page 3. And, Matuska, is Matuska in trial somewhere?
I'm
not
sure.
Catherine Furlow? I know he was supposed to be picking a jury on Monday.
I don't think
his
case ended up going.
It didn't go? Okay.
You can check.
Ms. Furlow, just have a seat. Your attorney is not here.
Yeah, I don't know who was in with.
Yeah, I think this was going to go to CDC, but then it's put out a lot.
That was the one that was specially said.
Booker was supposed to be here. Fife Kimler.
Rice and trial.
Rice in trial?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. Now, Mr. Booker? Mr. Kimler is in trial. We're gonna have to reset his case. He said he hired, right? Yeah, just, she's gonna reset your case. Kendrick Booker. And, let's see, somebody getting up here for Rife. Caleb Moore, your case is gonna be reset. Your attorney is in trial. They're gonna call your name. All right, just wait for your name to be called. The lodge and, did you get that Moore is gonna be,
Yeah.
Okay. okay. Kevin Chain. Chain. Okay, Kevin Chaney. Mr. Wilkers?
I think it may have done sign up my own.
I was just calling this bit. Okay. Just have a seat. Okay. I'm gonna send Chaney back to you.
Oh. Been a lot. Yeah. Okay. I have.
Dwayne Francis. Ms. Francis. Your full name is Dwayne Francis? Mr. Francis. Is this your first time here on this motion to revoke probation?
Yes.
Mr. Byron, could we give him a clipboard with the paperwork on it? Now, Mr. Francis. Don't lean on the bench. Now, Mr. Francis. I have before me. Where is it? A motion to revoke. Your probation. What is it? Hold on a minute. Okay, now, Mr. Francis, I have a motion to revoke your probation. In this motion, it alleges that you, Dwayne Joseph Francis Jr., was tried on August the 18th of 2023 for the offense of burglary of a vehicle. You were found guilty and your punishment was assessed at 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail, and a fine that does not exceed $1,292. The confinement was probated for a period of 1 year. In this motion, it alleges there are two allegations. The first allegation alleges that you, Dwayne Joseph Francis, committed the offense of felony theft in that on or about March 12th of 2024 in the county of Jefferson, state of Texas, that you, Dwayne Francis, did then and there unlawfully appropriate property without the effective consent of the said owner and with the intent to deprive the owner of the property against the peace and dignity of the state in violation of condition 1 of your probation order. Allegation number 2 alleges that you, Dwayne Joseph Francis, committed the offense of felony evading arrest in that on or about May 5th of 2024 in Jefferson County, Texas, that you, Dwayne Joseph Francis, did then and there intentionally and knowingly flee from a defendant. Flee a person the defendant knew was a peace officer who was attempting to lawfully arrest or detain the defendant, and the defendant used a motor vehicle while he was in flight against the peace and dignity of the state in violation of condition 1 of your probation order. Now, Mr. Francis, if the court finds that any one of these allegations are true, your probation can be revoked. And if your probation is revoked, you could be assessed punishment in the Jefferson County Jail up to 180 days. Do you understand that? Now, as a defendant in the criminal case, you have a right to have an attorney. You should have a document before you that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. In that document, it states that as a defendant in a criminal case, you have 3 options. Number 1, you may hire an attorney. Do you understand that option? Number 2, if you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you may request that an attorney be appointed to represent you. Do you understand that option? And number 3, you may represent yourself. Do you understand that option? Now, if you want to have an attorney to represent you and you have enough money, you can hire your attorney. You already have an attorney? Okay. Now, on that paperwork, now you say you're working on hiring him?
He's actually on the case that I had in Morgan County.
Okay.
Finished for that, so he's.
So on that document, you're gonna place your initials on the, at the bottom of that document, to the left, there are 3 lines, or to the left at the bottom. You're gonna place your initials on the first line stating that you want your case to reset to hire your own attorney. And then you're gonna sign it at the bottom where it says defendant, and you will date it today's date, October 30th of 2024. Do you understand? Okay, now. Okay. And so your case is going, now let me do this here. Would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or firmly tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Now, Mr. Francis, I have before me a document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defense Without Attorney. You recognize this document? And is this your signature on the document? And are these your initial lines state you'd like to hire your own attorney, you'd like to have your case reset? Okay. Now, before you sign this document, did you read the document and did you understand everything in this document? And is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Okay, now, Mr. Francis, your case is going to be reset to give you an opportunity to hire your attorney. Just have a seat, wait for your name to be called. When your name is called, you go to the window where your name is called. And once you finish at that window, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day.
That's it. I mean, this is, I feel like that's excuse.
You have to get it from the lady behind, there's some blue doors next to this court room. You go down that hallway and she should be sitting behind a glass window. You might want to go do that now before lunchtime. And then you can come back and get your reset. Then Cheney back to me. Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
You ready on Cheney? You're gonna do this. This is cause number 23CCCR 1914. Case is style of state of Texas versus Kevin Cheney. Mr. Cheney, is that your full name? Miss- Okay, Mr. Cheney, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Cheney, do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Cheney, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Cheney? You doing good? And Mr. Cheney, you're representing your case by your attorney, Marcus Wilkerson. Attorney Wilkerson, how are you doing?
Doing very well. Doug.
And Mr. Wilkerson, you're welcome. And Mr. Wilkerson, do you waive a record in Mr. Cheney's case?
We do, Judge.
Mr. Cheney, I have before me a document that is titled information. This document is on my computer. In this document, it alleges that you, Kevin Wayne Cheney, on or about August 12th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of interfering with public duty. Mr. Cheney, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, Mr. Cheney, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you freely and voluntarily, and are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight a contested charges? Mr. Cheney, I also have before me a document that's titled misdemeanor plea admonishment, labeled State's Exhibit 1. You recognize this document. On page 2 of the same document, there's a set of initials on a line next to a box that's checked. Uh-oh, no
Yeah.
initials.
Oh, I need to pick something on the first
It
page
is-
as well too.
Fixed it to the right.
Offense level, it still says
Oh,
Class A. I don't know why ours won't erase either. Any
yeah, we only have
where
one.
your initials didn't take, you need to initial that middle one. My apologies.
Okay. Just write it like a regular
Yeah,
pencil.
just
Just write it.
see.
Okay. Now, Mr. Cheney,
Thank you.
on page 2 of this document, or did you place your initials on this document? Page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant, is this your signature? And on the next document that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, You recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line is titled defense? At the top of this document, there are two boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to appeal, which means you're giving up your right to appeal. You understand that statement? I also have a document that's titled discovery certification. You recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line is titled defendant? Before you sign and initial these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you? Did you understand everything that your attorney went over? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Are you a citizen of the United States?
State offers states one.
No objection.
No objection, states exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Wilkerson, you've advised and counseled Mr. Cheney. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Cheney, your attorney, Mr. Wilkerson, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cheney, I would accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, we do, Your
And what
Honor.
is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea, the state is offering 1 year deferred probation, $500 fine, 40 hours of community service plus court
Mr.
costs.
Wilkerson, are you appointed in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is this court cost? Cheney, that's 1 year deferred to 1 year deferred. Hey, Mr. Cheney, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation, and a 1 year probationary period, you're required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $277. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, your announcement fee of $15 a month, reimbursement fee of $15. You'll also be required to reimburse Jefferson County court-appointed attorney's fees of $250. Your total monthly installments is $177 a month. Will you be able to pay the $177 each month? Okay. You will also be required to perform 40 hours of community service. And you will be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Mr. Cheney, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Mr. Cheney, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Cheney, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will not result in a conviction in your record, and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. Now, Mr. Cheney, I think that every time that you come to court, the young lady that's back there, she's come with you every time. That's your grandmother. Okay, your grandmother is here. I'm sure she could be doing a whole lot of other things besides being here in court with you. Right? But she's here. She's here because she loves you. Okay. Now, she probably was nicer to you than she probably was to her children. Grandparents are like that. Okay. They usually let their grandkids get away with a lot of stuff that they didn't allow their children to get away with. Okay. But anyway, the whole point is that woman loves you. Okay. So when you leave this place, this courtroom, we want you to know that because of this case, this is a deferred adjudication case, which means that if you successfully complete, you won't have a conviction on your record. And you may qualify for a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about that non-disclosure. And the other thing is that this may not be a proud day for your grandmother, but this is not your last day, which means that you may have many, many more days that you can make her proud, okay? So let's move on from what occurred here today, and let's show that woman that you love her too by changing your life, all right? Now, your paperwork has to be drafted up. Just take a seat, And when they call your name, you come to the window. And ma'am, thanks for coming out here with your grandson. Okay. Is Alexis Blue, who is your other? Who is it, wait up. I'm trying to get Mr. Wilkerson's. Lumpkin is yours, Mr. Wilkerson?
Yeah, sure, I've got three others. One-
Okay,
or not.
Brandon Lumpkin. Brandon Lumpkin, would you please come forward? Okay, Mr. Lumpkin, your full name is Brandon. What's that, Raphael? Raphael Lumpkin?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lumpkin, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Lumpkin, do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, you have God? Mr. Lumpkin, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Lumpkin?
So,
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Lumpkin, you're represented in your case by your attorney, William Wilkerson. Mr. Wilkerson, do you waive a record in Mr. Lumpkin's case?
We do, Your Honor.
Mr. Lumpkin, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, Mr. Lumpkin, it alleges that you, Brandon Raphael Lumpkin, on or about January 12th of 2024, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of failure to identify with intent to give false information. Mr. Lumpkin, you understand what you've been charged with?
yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Lumpkin, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest? Now, you pleaded no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you don't wish to fight or contest the charge? Mr. Lumpkin, I also have before me a document that is titled, that's titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document? And on page 2 of the same document, there's a set of initials on the line next to boxes checked, no continue. These your initials on this line.
Yes, sir.
And on the page 3 of this document, there's a signature above the line entitled defendant. Is this your signature? And on the next document, that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. You recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes. First box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. You understand that statement? I also have a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Now, Ms. Lumpkin, before you sign and issue these documents, did your attorney go over this document with you?
Yes, sir.
Signature. And did you understand everything that your attorney went over? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Lumpkin, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
Separate states one.
No objection.
No objection, states exhibit number 1 will be admitted. And Mr. Wilkerson, you advise and counsel Mr. Lumpkin, is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Lumpkin, your attorney, Mr. Wilkerson, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lumpkin, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
The agreement says it's 6 months deferred probation with a $250 fine and 50 hours of community service.
Say 50 hours commission. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
What is Mr. Lumpkin's court cost?
277.
Okay, Mr. Lumpkin, the state is offering that you serve 6 months deferred adjudicated probation. During the 6-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $250 for court costs, $277. You'll be required to pay probation fee of $6,000, your analysis fee of $15, and reimbursement fee of $15. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you're on probation is $198 a month. Or you're able to pay the $198 a month.
Yes, sir.
You also be required to perform 50 hours of community service and adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of probation. Mr. Lumpkin, do you understand the state's offer? Do you think the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Sir.
And do you accept the state's offer? Mr. Lumpkin, I'll follow the people are in agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Lumpkin, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will not result in a conviction on your record, and you may qualify for non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Mr. Lumpkin, just have a seat and wait for your name to be called. Okay, we still haven't got Bernard. No. So we never did the second one on Bernard, right? Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead on and do Alexis Blue. Okay.
This is Mr. Lumpkin's discovery certification.
Okay, this is cause number 24 CCCR 1142. Case of style of the state of Texas versus Alexis Blue. Ms. Blue, is that your full name? Ms. Blue, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Blue, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Ms. Blue, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Blue? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Ms. Blue, you're representing your case by Attorney Jennifer DeLodge. Attorney DeLodge, how are you doing?
I'm good, Judge.
That's good. Now, Mr. DeLodge, you waive a record in Ms. Blue's case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Blue, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Alexis Blue, on or about April 2nd of 2024, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of failure to identify, giving false or fictitious information. Ms. Blue, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest. Now, you pleaded no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Ms. Blue, I also have another document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea. Mine is also labeled State's Exhibit 1. You recognize this document? On page 2 of this same document, there's a set of initials on a line that's next to a box that's checking no entries, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document? On the next page of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is this your signature? And on the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? At the top of this document, there are two boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have another document that is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Now, Ms. Blue, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, Mr. Lodge, go over these documents with you? And did you understand everything that Mr. Lodge went over? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? And Ms. Blue, are you a citizen of the United States?
Stand for stage 1.
No
Any-
objection.
No objection. States Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Lodge, you've advised and counsel Ms. Blue. Is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Ms. Blue, your attorney, Mr. Lodge, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with her representation? Has she provided fully effective and competent legal representation? Ms. Blue, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt state. Do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
1 year deferred probation with a $300 fine and 40 hours community service.
Okay. Let's see. And Mr. Lodge, were you appointed in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is Ms. Blue's court cost?
277.
Okay, Ms. Blue, the state is offering that you serve when you deferred adjudicated probation. During the one-year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $300 plus court costs of $277. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, year and fee, $15 a month, reimbursement fee of $15. You'll also be required to pay Jefferson County attorney's fees of $250. Your total monthly installments is $158 a month. Will you be able to pay the $158 a month?
Confirmation?
Yes. Okay. Now, you'll also be required to perform 40 hours of community service and adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Mr. Blue, do you understand the state's offer? You think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Okay, Ms. Blue, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Ms. Blue, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It would not result in a conviction on your record, and you may qualify for non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because she's quite competent in those matters. Now, Ms. Blue, you can have a seat and wait for your name to be called. And Ms. Delage, this is your last case. You're free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
And you have a blessed day.
You too.
Jaquisha Bernard. What? They have it right here. It says 24 CCCR 1239.
Yes, Your Honor, one's dismissed.
Okay. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session in 2 cases. They are clause numbers 24 CCCR 1238 and clause number 24 CCCR 1239. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Jaquisha Bernard. Ms. Bernard, is that your full name? Ms. Bernard, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Bernard, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Ms. Bernard, you may put your hand down. Ms. Bernard, how are you doing? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Ms. Bernard, I have before me a clause number 24 CCCR 1238, a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, Ms. Bernard, it alleges that you, Jaquisha Bernard, on or about April 9th of 2024, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed, the Class A misdemeanor offense, the Class B misdemeanor offense of fleeing a police officer. You have to change this here. You have Class A. Here you go. Mr. Wilkerson, it's a Class B. Okay, it's a Class B misdemeanor offense of fleeing a police officer. Ms. Bernard, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, Ms. Bernard, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest? Now, you pleaded no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Ms. Bernard, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of the same document, there's a set of initials JB on the line next to a box Just checking over contingent, which means no contest. Place your initials on this document. And is this your signature on page 3 of the same document? On the next document that's titled Trial Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, you recognize this document. And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Is this, and at the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have before me on a document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Now, Ms. Bernard, before you signed and initialed all of these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything in these documents? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Ms. Bernard, are you a citizen of the United States? State?
State offer states 1.
Any objections?
Okay.
No objections. States exhibit number 1 will be admitted. And Mr. Wilkerson, you've advised and counseled Ms. Bernard. Is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Ms. Bernard, your attorney, Mr. Wilkerson, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Ms. Bernard, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea, the state is offering 90 days in the Jefferson County Jail probated over 1 year, $250 fine, 40 hours of community service plus court costs. In addition, the state will be dismissing companion case 24 CCCR 1239.
Okay. Let's see, this is, Mr. Wilkerson, you was a partner in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is our court cost? Bernard,
3:30.
330. Okay, so this is only 300.
Excuse me, I was just gonna let you know, Mr. Matuska has a flat tire and I'm dealing with flat.
Yeah,
That's right.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
No problem.
300, 250.
I text him.
90 days.
I think that was,
It's 90 days probated over 1 year.
yeah.
I thought it
the day
says,
is-
somebody wrote 365 on here. That's what's written on here.
Days in jail,
It
360.
should be 90 days in
Oh,
jail, probated
Oh,
over
you-
1 year.
I must have,
Somebody wrote 365 days probated over 1 year.
that's incorrect. That's-
Okay, okay, so it's 90 days in jail?
90 days probated over 1 year.
Okay, you need to change that.
Sorry about that.
I wrote three.
All right, as we discussed. It's being suspended for a year. That's what this. Okay.
90 days in jail, probated over 1 year.
Yeah.
Now, what is the court cost again? 330. Okay, this is, cause number, Miss Bernard, state is offering that you serve 90 days in jail, probated over 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $250 plus court costs of $330. You will be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, your analysis fee of $15 a month, reimbursement fee of $15. You will be required to reimburse Jefferson County court-appointed attorney's fees of $300. You'll also be required to, now, this case will be, well, your court costs and all of the fees that I just mentioned, will come to a total that you will be required to pay each month of $163 a month. Will you be able to pay the $163 each month? You'll also be required to perform 40 hours of community service. State will dismiss cause number 24 CCCR 1239. Now, Ms. Bernard, do you understand the state's offer? Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Ms. Bernard, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Ms. Bernard, just please have a seat and wait for your name to be called. You have.
And Judge, on mail, I checked the Class A because it's enhanced by the blood alcohol content. So I don't know if
Where?
you're gonna want me to change that box or not.
No, if it's a Class A, yeah. Yeah, I don't think I have his yet. Like, oh, there it is. Jared Mill. Okay, this is cause number M331294. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Jared Devereaux Mayo. Mr. Mayo, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayo, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Mayo, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayo, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Mayo? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking, Mr. Mayo. I have before me a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, Mr. Mayo, it alleges that you, Jared Devereaux Mayo, on or about September 14th of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. Mr. Mayo, let's see. Do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Mayo, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
No contest, sir.
Now, you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayo, I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, there's a set of initials on the line that's next to boxes checked no contingent, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, it's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box is checked, states that this is a plea bargain case. You have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? Second box says check, states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes,
I also have before me a document that is titled discovery certification. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Mayo, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes,
Mr. Mayo, are you a citizen of the United States?
yes, sir.
Except for stage one.
Any objections? No objection, states exhibit number one will be admitted, and Mr. Wilkerson, you've advised and counseled, Mr. Mayo, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Mayo, your attorney, Mr. Wilkerson, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayo, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargaining agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
The agreement is 77 days time served, court calls tax and retired.
Okay, Mr. Mayo, the state is offering that you serve 77 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail because you've already spent 77 days in Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you've already served. The court costs in this case will be taxed and retired. That means that you will not have to pay it because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired.
Yes.
Mr. Miller, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
You think the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Mayo, I'll file the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Mayo, just have a seat, wait for your name to be, stand over there by the bailiff, and follow his instruction. Once you finish following instructions, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, David.
Okay, and Mr.
I believe that concludes.
Wilkerson, yeah,
my case.
you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And, Jalen Gasper,
He's in the holding cell.
okay. Order being recessed.